Well, hello there, everybody. It is Melanie Mitro, and it is Tuesday, February 20th, where I have no idea where the month of February went, but it is literally flying by, and I'm so excited to be back here again this week. And I've got a really exciting topic to talk to you guys about, one that I truly feel is going to resonate so deep with each and every one of you. And this concept actually came out of a series that my church is doing, and it's called Frequency. And when I saw the series sort of advertised a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I need to be there. I need to be at that service that is going to speak to me. And this concept of frequency, when they were doing sort of like the role ahead of time to kind of tell people what the services were going to be about, is they talked about chatter, and they talked about noise, and they talked about social media and how social media and just life in general is so noisy. And it's really hard to sort of quiet yourself down so that you can actually lean in and listen to the message that God's trying to tell you. And I thought about that concept of just noise, and I felt like, oh my gosh, like I need to be there. That is so my life right now. I just feel like it's very noisy, very busy. A lot of people are sort of weighing in on their decisions, and I thought, I think this is really going to be good for me. And so this weekend, right, Saturday night, we went to an event on Saturday, and Matt came home and he wasn't feeling so well. He was running a fever, and Sunday morning I was like, should I go to church? Should I not? And I really wanted to see that series, and so I decided to pack up the kids and go anyways, and leave Matt at home so he could rest and have some quiet time without all of us there. And the one thing that I look back and I say, it would have been so easy for me to skip out. It would have been so easy for me to make an excuse and not go because Matt wasn't going, but it was exactly what I needed. And I shared this message actually with my team, and I shared it with them on Sunday night, and I'm going to share this message with you too, because I had such an overwhelming response to the things I shared in my leadership page that I really feel like I bet you a lot of business owners feel this way. So let me just kind of go ahead and dive right into and just kind of set the stage. So on Sunday, this is the example that the pastor used at church. He talked about this NASA sent up this satellite, right, into space, and the satellite got lost. It got disconnected from NASA, and they couldn't find it. And it had been a couple of years, and they couldn't find this satellite. And this Canadian scientist actually was able to find the frequency of that satellite and was able to connect with it, and was able to relay that information back to NASA. And they kept going, I don't understand how we have this huge science center and all this technology and we can't find it, but there you are isolated up in Canada, and you were able to connect with this frequency of this satellite and find it. And, they kept asking him how did he do it? And he was like, I just don't have all the bells and whistles. I just have basic equipment, basic stuff. And that satellite was able to communicate with me. And with NASA, they have all these bells and whistles, and they have all this complex stuff. And what ended up happening is they had so much noise that they couldn't hone in on this one little frequency, this one little simplistic frequency that this satellite was trying to communicate to them, that it was still out there. And I started to think, we started to think about that, and I started to think, oh my gosh, how many times is God trying to give us a message, or is he trying to tell us something, but we're so our minds are going 24/7, and there's all of this chatter that we have a really hard time communicating, making decisions, because there is so much noise. And this concept of frequency, right, in our life, right, everybody is weighing in on what they think you should do with your life. How many of you are just inundated with social media telling you what shampoo you should buy, or what outfit you should have, and what diet you should follow, and what makeup that you should wear, and you should go natural, and you should go vegan, and you should do paleo, and you should do high fat, low carb. Like, it's everywhere. Everywhere. Everything from your relationships to what kind of vacations that you should take to, what kind of education your kids should have. There is an opinion and chatter everywhere you go. And there are some days where I am like, I need a break from it all. Like, I just need to be quiet. And you know, one of the examples that was also used was kids going to college, right? Kids that are going to college and they have all these applications for universities that are out there, and so many people, their friends and their family and their, you know, their aunts and their uncles and grandparents, everybody's trying to tell them what school that they should go to, and all they're saying to themselves is like, for the love of God, just give me a sign of where I should go to school. And I thought about that, and I thought about society today and about the choices that we make. And a lot of times, and even more recently, I've been watching people make decisions. And I watch people make decisions based on chatter, based on noise, based on what somebody else is putting out there on social media, because everybody's trying to get you to buy into whatever they're doing. They're trying to make their noise the loudest, their chatter the biggest, right? And they want to catch your attention. And before we make a decision, a lot of times, what do? We just start going around and talking to everybody and asking for everybody's opinion and getting everybody to weigh in on it. And our mind becomes very anxious and our body becomes tense. And that is not the way that we should be. And so what I want to kind of share with you today is, you know, I personally have been going through this part of my life where I feel like the vibrations are really loud. I just feel like, you know, social media has definitely been turning me off. I have found myself kind of moving away from Facebook and only going in to do what I need to do. And I've found myself sort of retreating from that and really taking these social media breaks. And it really was when I instituted 80-Day Obsession that I adopted this new practice. And while I was sitting in church on Sunday, I was really thinking about what I was doing in my own life as I was creating this quiet, I was lowering the vibrations. I was really leaning in. I was allowing myself this quiet time. And it honestly is something that I have never done before. I'm a busybody. I am the kind of person that from the minute my feet hit the floor until the minute my head hits that pillow, there are sometimes I don't stop. And I don't give myself time to process, and I don't give myself enough time to be still. And with this new program that I've been doing, I have to eat, you know, I have to eat an hour before I work out. And so I made this commitment that I was going to start this morning routine. Maybe you want to call it your miracle morning. You know, I call it sort of my combination. It's my own combo where I get up and I eat my breakfast, that first meal of the morning. I read my devotional. I write in my journal. I set my intentions for the day. You know, I really kind of say to myself, who needs me on my A game today, and who needs me to be my best self? And I really just sort of set my intentions. And I don't turn on the computer, and I don't turn on my phone, and I don't scroll any news feeds, but I'm just silent. And I'm very intentional about that time and making sure that I am not letting the chatter of my inbox or my, you know, my email to sort of get the best of me, that I'm allowing myself to be intentional with my peace and quiet. And I'm telling you that this intentionality of allowing myself to quiet the chatter, to instead of making decisions, to sort of pray on it and ask for peace and ask for clarity, has really made me able to manage this very noisy social media world that we have right now going on. And I know many of you listening to this, you build a social media business. Your life is on social media, but I want you to know that there is a time and a place to be on it, and there is a time to disconnect. And so what I want to share with you are just my 5 tips of things that I've really learned over the past 5 months that help me to maintain my balance between clarity and peace and lowering my anxiety level and still being able to manage and run a very successful business. All right. So the first thing is that I find myself silencing certain individuals on social media. So there are people that are negative, opinionated, I feel like they're sharing the highlight reel and it's not reality. And I have learned that instead of getting sucked into that black hole, or every time that person has a notification that they posted on Facebook or they posted on Instagram, I don't get notified. I've unfollowed, I've hid their stuff, and I've honestly started to unfriend some of those people that just are distracting me from my purpose and my mission. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that I need to guard that energy with my life, and so do you. So if you find that there is somebody that you are drawn to, I want to challenge you to really try your hardest not to go to their sites, not to go to and compare yourself or look to see what they're doing, but to keep your blinders on and really run your own race. The second thing is I'm finding myself unplugging a lot more recently. I have found myself saying there are scheduled activities when I'm going to be, engaged in my business, and there are scheduled activities where I'm not going to be engaged in my business. And for me, I've learned to, before I open my computer, before I turn on my phone for the day, that I say, what do I need to do? What's on my to-do list that I need to accomplish? And I get in and I get out. So if it's going into challenge groups, or if it's going into team pages, or if it's making my social media post for the day, or scheduling something to go out at a certain time, I have learned to go directly to the place that I need to go, to not look at the notifications, to not get distracted by, updates that are happening, to actually not even scroll the newsfeed. I have learned to sort of just really kind of cut that time out and be very purposeful and intentional with the time that I have, and it is working incredibly well. Because you know what? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what so-and-so is posting about. I don't know what drama is happening over here, or what the company might be doing over there. I have a purpose and a mission, and I keep my head down and my blinders on, and I do my own thing. I've got my own social media planning schedule for the week, and that's what I'm focused on. I don't care what anybody else is doing, because they're not running my business. I am. You know what? The third thing is this. Man, oh man, there are tough decisions when it comes to building a team, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to, what career path that you're going to take, or, what your future is going to hold. And there's going to be a lot of people out there when you have to make a decision that are going to try to influence that decision. So the one thing I've learned to do is not be the person that asks everybody for an opinion. I don't go to my mom, my dad, my brother, my cousins, my best friends, all the people on my team, my husband. I don't go to everybody and tell them what my problem is or what decision I need to make and ask them for their opinion. I have learned to say to myself, all right, I need to actually sit down, journal out, the decision that I need to make, weigh the pros and cons, decide for myself what is going to be, what are all the reasons why I should make this decision? What are all the reasons I shouldn't make this decision, without letting somebody else influence me? Because everybody is going to tell you what they want you to do, not necessarily what's best for you. And the only person that knows what's best for you is the man up there. And you've got to listen to that. And when you create chatter and chaos, and you're talking about something, and you're beating a dead horse, and you're messaging and you're texting, you are literally raising the vibrations of anxiety, and it's going to go through the roof. And anytime your anxiety is through the roof, it is not the right decision. When you sit in peace, when you sit in quiet, that's when the moments come to you. That's when it's actually revealed to you the path that you should take. So stop engaging in that crazy chatter and separate yourself from all of that noise. And the fourth thing is this. I have really, really been intentional about separating myself from negativity. And when I say separating myself from negativity, it's people that are sucking my positive energy. It is people that are not matching my effort. It is people that are Debbie Downers, that whine, that complain, that always have to, nothing is ever going to work. Their business is never going to succeed. The market is dried up. It's oversaturated. There's a better opportunity over there. When I surround myself with people like that are not forward thinkers, that are not innovative, I go into that downward spiral. I start to think the sky is falling. I start to think there's no way out, that, social media is done and I'll never be able to build a business on this platform. And that is just BS. Like, honestly, it's just BS. The minute I surround myself with those people that are innovative and positive, are growing, are excited, look at opportunity in every corner, I want to spend my time with those people. Those are the people I walk away from a conversation and I feel energized and I'm on fire and I can't wait to start running towards the next goal. Those are the people that I want to surround myself with, the people that actually lift me up. They're going to be people, and sometimes they are your closest friends and family that you're going to have to separate yourself from. And you have to put a little distance there, and don't have to like cut them off completely, but a safe distance is okay. It's okay to not engage in that negative conversation, to remove yourself and find a different tribe of positive people that are lifting you up. And then the last thing is this: are you doing work that is actually working, or do you need to make a change? You know, especially in business, right? Social media changes, I think, sometimes faster than we can blink. And we're constantly having to say what's working, what isn't working. But there are people out there that are struggling in their business right now. And they're struggling because they're continuing to do the same exact thing day after day after day. Even though it's not working and it's not producing the results, they get such satisfaction for checking off the box that they did certain activities that they're not looking to say, is it actually working? Is it actually changing me? Is it giving me a return on my investment? Is it making me more peaceful, more excited, more fulfilled? And so sometimes we do have to actually make a change, and we have to say to ourselves, how do I keep myself reignited, keep my fire going, make sure that my frequency is staying in line with my mission? You know, that's the hardest thing to do. And when we're caught in that moment of like what we're doing is not working, this is when it's so easy to let that frequency start to take over, right? There's how many of you have noticed like these little dangling carrots, like you can make money faster over here and get in over here. This is a ground floor opportunity and the market's not saturated. And you know, and you hear all of this chatter that begins to raise the vibration. And it's like, holy crap, we really need to be silent. We really need to ask ourselves, what is the agenda that maybe the higher power has set for us, instead of what agenda are we trying to force? Guys, we're trying to force sometimes our agenda, and people are trying to force their agenda on you, and you have to be aware of that. You can't be sucked in by somebody else's highlight reel. You have got to take a step back and dig down, peel back those layers, and really, really make just a sound decision before you make that leap, right? And so what I want to ask you to do is this, is to really say to yourself, what competing voices am I being bombarded with right now? What frequencies am I tuning into that I should not be? What chatter do I really need to quiet in my life right now? Because honestly, the voices that are the loudest right now are definitely the ones that we need to quiet the most. So what are you allowing in your life? Are you allowing stillness and silence, or anxiety and chaos? Who is feeding you their agenda at this point in time? You know, one of the things that I was thinking about as I was preparing for this segment was this concept of mission over money. And I was thinking about, you know, why I got into the business that I got into. Why do I do this podcast? Why do I do my Business Tip Tuesdays? You know, why am I so forthright with sharing my knowledge? And I think to myself, like, I love what I do. I don't get paid to do this podcast, but it's the mission behind it. It is empowering other entrepreneurs to build a business. It is empowering other women to know that, you know, hey, you can build a business from your kitchen table. And even if you aren't organized now, you can find a system of time management. You can learn the skills that you need to go out there and crush it in life. And every single time that I keep my focus on the mission, helping people, whether it's health and fitness and their journey or building a business, every time I think about content and teaching and leading and serving, the money rolls in. But every time I focus on the money, the income, the rank, the recognition, the accolades, the shiny objects, I am met with opposition. It is like I'm gently being told, your heart is not in the right place. Refocus, rebalance, take a step back, reevaluate the situation. And I was reading today, and I wrote this on a sticky note, and it says, you know, we all want quick success. We all want quick, shiny objects. We all want instant fame. We all want to be a part of an organization that just makes money the fastest. But you know what? Here's the thing. I look back over the past 6.5 years that I've been building my organization, and it was grit, and it was hustle, and it was a lot of hours, and it was a lot of very intentional work at growing my following and putting content out there so people would trust me, and adding value and doing a lot for a little. And each and every time I made a step forward, sometimes I'd take 2 steps back. But when I got to my first big goal, when I achieved the first big goal in my company, I remember that feeling of like I worked hard for that. Nobody gave it to me. It wasn't handed on a silver platter. I didn't get lucky. Like I worked for it. And the success is so much sweeter knowing that my blood, my sweat, my tears, all of my energy and all of my heart and soul went into that. And there wasn't any kind of handout that was given to me, that it was really, really my hard work. It makes the success so much better. And you know, the second thing is I start every single day with a grateful heart, with gratitude. What's the message that I should be sharing today? What sort of mindset should I go out there? Who needs me on my A game today? Guys, gratitude every day. I put my feet on the floor and I say thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to share with this world today, to be a positive voice. Gratitude, it's not for weirdos, it's for the winners. Every day, be grateful for what you have. So guys, what I want you to do is I really want you to take a step back. What of those 5 things that I shared with you today do you need to be more intentional about? Where do you need to change your mindset so that you are not the negative Nelly, that you're being intentional with your time, that you're allowing yourself that quiet time to reflect, to journal, to really lean in to the frequency and say, what is the right decision for me, my business, my future, my family, and my lifestyle? I promise you, if you allow yourself to be silent and be still, the answers will absolutely come to you in that moment of clarity. But here's the thing, you can't force it, and it takes practice. For all of you ADD people out there that are just like me, please know that this is really hard for me to do. It is really hard for me to quiet my mind. And I find myself a lot of times, you know, going to a yoga class, a heated yoga class, and you know, the first 20 minutes of that yoga class, my mind is just racing a bazillion miles a minute. And you know, one of the things that I love about yoga is they teach you this rhythmic breathing, this in and out, you know, count in for 5, count out for 5, clear everything in your brain. The only thing you should be focusing on is your breath. Leave everything outside of the room right now, right? You are here. It doesn't matter what your to-do list says or how many people you need to recruit or what posts you need to make. I want you just to be here right now in the moment. It takes me 20 minutes to get myself quieted. So I just want to say that this may not come easy for you, but I promise you, if you make it a practice, just like everything else in your life, eventually it will work and it will become a part of who you are. So I want to challenge you today to just quiet the chatter, to get rid of those competing voices, to crush out the negativity and be present in your life so that you can go out there and do the job that you have been called to do. So I want to hear from you. If you thought that today was a great message, if you felt like this really spoke to you, if you feel like social media is really noisy, I want to encourage you, block it out. Put your unplugged times, make a social media schedule, go in, do your business, get out and get on with your life. You're the only person that has to live that life. Nobody else's opinions are going to pay your bills, so keep that in mind as you go through each and every day. And as always, thank you so much for being here, for spending 25 minutes with me today. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye, everybody.